Hello friends. You are welcome to our literary channel Academic Domain. Today we will discuss Introduction to the novel The God of Small Things, Summary, Themes, and Characters in The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to it and hit the bell icon to get notifications of upcoming videos. Kindly like, share and give your valuable suggestions through comments. Introduction to the novel. The God of Small Things is a family drama novel written by Indian writer Arundhati Roy. It is a story about the childhood experiences of fraternal twins whose lives are destroyed by the love laws prevalent in 1960s Kerala, India. The novel explores how small, seemingly insignificant occurrences, decisions and experiences shape people's behavior in deeply significant ways. The novel also explores the lingering effects of casteism in India, lending a culturally specific critique of British colonialism in India. It won the Booker Prize in 1997. The God of Small Things was Roy's debut novel, published in 1997. It was followed by the 2017 publication The Ministry of Utmost Happiness 20 years later. Roy began writing the manuscript for The God of Small Things in 1992 and finished 4 years later, in 1996, leading to its publication the following year. The potential of the story was first recognized by HarperCollins editor Pankaj Mishra, who sent it to 3 British publishers. Roy received a £500,000 advance, and rights to the book was sold in 21 countries. Summary of the novel. The story is set in Ayamenam, Kerala, with a disjointed narrative shifting between 1969 and 1993. Rahul and Esther, fraternal twins, reunite in 1993. Amu, their mother, marries Baba to escape her father and returns to Ayamenam after leaving her abusive husband. Chako, Amu's brother, returns from England after his divorce. The family home includes baby Kochama, Papachi's sister, who remained unmarried due to unrequited love. She manipulates events to cause misfortune. The death of Margaret's second husband in a car accident prompts Chako to invite her and the daughter, Sophie, to spend Christmas in Ayamenam. On the road to the airport, the family encounters a group of communist protesters who surround the car and humiliate baby Kochama. Rahul thinks she sees amongst the protesters Velutha, an untouchable servant who works for the family's pickle factory. Later at the theater, Esther is sexually molested by the arranged lemon drink man, a vendor working at the snack counter. Rahul's claim of seeing Velutha in the communist mob leads baby Kochama to associate him with her humiliation. Rahul and Esther develop a bond with Velutha, while Amu is drawn to him, sparking a forbidden romance. Velutha is depicted as sympathetic but faces tragedy due to his caste and relationship with Amu. When Velutha's father exposes their affair, Amu is locked up, and Velutha is banished. Amu blames the twins for her plight, leading them to flee with their cousin Sophie. Their boat capsizes and Sophie drowns. Margaret and Chako return to find Sophie dead on the sofa. Baby Kochama accuses Velutha of Sophie's death, leading to his brutal beating and arrest by the police. The twins witness this traumatic event. The chief of police, aware of Velutha's communist ties, fears unrest if the wrongful arrest is exposed. He threatens baby Kochama for falsely accusing Velutha. To save herself, baby Kochama manipulates Esther and Rahul into implicating Velutha in Sophie's murder. Velutha dies from his injuries. Despite Amu's attempts to tell the truth, baby Kochama convinces Chako that Amu and the twins are responsible for Sophie's death. Chako ejects Amu from the house, separating Esther from her forever. Amu dies alone in a motel at 31. Rahul moves to America for university but returns to Ayamenam after a tumultuous life. She reunites with Esther, who has lived a solitary, mute existence with baby Kochama. They have sex. Despite their reunion, their lives remain sorrowful. The novel concludes with a reflection on Amu's and Velutha's love affair. Characters in the novel. Major characters. Esther, he is the male protagonist of the novel, Rahul's twin brother, a serious, intelligent and somewhat nervous child, who experiences trauma leading to his silence, chosen by baby Kochama to accuse Velutha, deeply connected to his sister despite separation. Rahul, she is the female protagonist of the novel, Esther's younger sister by 18 minutes, a partial narrator characterized as intelligent and impulsive, grappling with social discomfort and treated as lesser than her brother, later becoming something of a drifter, training as an architectural draftsman and experiencing a failed relationship with an American. Amu, she is the twins' strict mother, who marries an alcoholic to escape from home, divorces him due to violence, and has a cataclysmic affair with Velutha, causing her children to fear losing her love. Velutha, he is a smart paravan caste carpenter at the Ipe family's pickle factory, deeply involved in the local communist movement, has a forbidden affair with Amu and faces brutal punishment, with a paralyzed brother named Kuttapen. Chacko, he is Esther's and Rahul's maternal uncle, who meets Margaret at Oxford, marries her and has a daughter, Sophie, whose death is pivotal to the story. Baby Kochama, named Navami Ipe, she is the antagonist of the novel, the twins' maternal great-aunt, educated and embittered, harboring unrequited love for an Irish Catholic priest and spite for her niece's children, condemning them to misery. Supporting characters: Sophie Moll, she is only daughter of Chacko and Margaret Kochama, but raised by Margaret and stepfather Joe. She is Esther's and Rahul's half-British cousin. After Joe dies, she and Margaret return to Ironmenham. The twins befriend her for a short period before her death. Her visit and her tragic drowning define the pivotal event in the novel. Margaret Kochama, she is Sophie Moll's English mother and Chacko's ex-wife. She is a waitress at a cafe when Chacko first meets her. She divorces Chacko shortly after Sophie Moll is born as he is lazy. She falls in love with Joe, and after Joe dies, she and Sophie Moll return to Ironmenham, which is eventually regretted after Sophie Moll died. Mamaki, named Soshama Ipe, she is the twins' grandmother and mother of Amu and Chacko. She is a hard-working, strict and reserved woman who started Paradise Pickles and Preserves, a pickle factory all by herself. She was partially blind when the twins came to Ironmenham. Before Chacko intervened, she suffered domestic abuse from Papachi, who would always beat her. Papachi, named Sri Banan John Ipe, he is Rahul's and Esther's late grandfather, an imperial entomologist at Pusa Institute in Delhi. He discovers a new species of moth but grew bitter when no moth species he discovered is named after him. He would beat Mamaki with a brass vase every night until Chacko told him to stop. After that, he buys himself a blue Plymouth that he doesn't allow anyone to drive. Kochu Maria, she is a servant and cook who lives in the Ironmenham house and usually watches television all day with baby Kochama. Baba, he is the twins' absent father and ex-husband of Amu. He is a tea estate assistant manager in Assam. After Amu marries Baba, she learns that he is an alcoholic and an uncontrollable liar and later grows abusive. Amu leaves him with the children due to his alcoholism, and when he tries to give Amu to his boss, Velya Papan, he is Velutha's father, was on good terms with Mamaki and her family and is grateful to her because she bought him a glass eye when he lost his left eye in an accident. He witnessed Velutha's illicit affair with Amu and reveals it to Mamaki, and he even offers to kill his own son, but Mamaki sent him away. Narrative technique. Roy uses various techniques to represent the children's viewpoints and their innocence. One technique she employs is the capitalization of certain words and phrases to give them significance, for example, because anything can happen to anyone. The children also restate things that adults say in a phonetic way, separating and recombining words. This echoes the children's way of looking at the world, distinct from the perspective of the grown-ups who surround them. Roy often uses metaphors that feature elements that are more prominent in the lives of children, such as toothpaste, secrets, or portable pianos. They place significance on words and ideas differently from the adults, thereby creating a new way of viewing the world around them. They pick up on certain feelings and ideas that the adults around them either fail or refuse to recognize, and give new significance to things that the adults ignore for their own purposes. The children use and repeat these phrases throughout the story so that the phrases themselves gain independence and representational meanings. Another way she plays with language is to join words together without punctuation, which we see in the description of the orange drink lemon drink man, or blue-gray blue eyes. This subversion of the usual rules of syntax and grammar not only places us in a child's view of the world, but it also draws attention to the role of language in colonialism. By corrupting standard use of English, the colonial language of India, Roy is rebelling against colonial influence still present in India, represented by characters such as Margaret Kochammer and Chacko who always speak correctly. Roy also employs a disjointed, non-sequential narrative style that echoes the process of memory, especially the resurfacing of a previously suppressed, painful memory. The story of 3 different generations is told simultaneously going back and forth in time. The uncovering of the story of Sophie's death, concurrently with the forward-moving story of Rahul's return to Ayamenam and reunion with Esther, creates a complex narrative that emphasizes the difficulty of the subject of the story and the complexity of the culture from which the story originates. Time is rendered somewhat static as parts of one narrative line are intertwined through repetition and non-sequential discovery. This is also part of the way Roy uses real-life places and people that she has shifted and altered for use in the story. The story's many elements come together to construct a diverse look at one instance of Indian culture and the effect of the caste system on life and love during a time of post-colonialism. As the children try to form their own identities, naming and renaming themselves in the process, Roy places in parallel the effect of the process by intertwining the past and the present. This process also echoes the progression of the Indian people, like that of all cultures that try to find ways to maintain the traditions in a time of increasing globalization. Possible autobiographical elements. The God of Small Things is a work of fiction, but some critics have tried to find autobiographical parallels in the novel, while at the same time warning against drawing any simplistic connections between the novel and the writer's life. Some of the similarities between Roy's life and that of the characters she creates include her own Syrian Christian and Hindu lineage, the divorce of her parents when she and her brother were very young, her return to the family home in Ayamenam after her mother's divorce, and her education in an architectural school, to name a few. Some critics also attribute the political awareness manifested in The God of Small Things to Roy's early life influences from her mother, who was an activist and feminist. Themes in the novel. There are multiple themes prevalent in the novel The God of Small Things. They are 1. Untouchability, 2. The grotesque, 3. Homecoming, 4. Scandal, 5. Mutability, 6. Preservation, 7. Cultural loyalty. Hope you like the presentation. Thanks for watching the video.